friend of mine is really into writing, so he wanted to do it, and since I saw him doing it, I decided why not try it as well.
I don't show my writing to a lot of people. So the ideal situation for me was me writing something, sending it away, not having to watch someone read it, and hearing whether or not it's any good.
I don't do a lot of my own writing, but my mom has always wanted me to. So, yeah, and I just ended up writing something and submitting it.
Now, my first question for you guys today, what was your inspiration for your piece?
I was looking into like psychiatric hospitals around the time. I don't know why, but it was interesting to me. I decided that that would be the theme of my piece.
All my life, I think that I've really enjoyed writing that makes you think. And for a long time, I didn't focus at all on writing that makes you feel anything. So during study hall last year, I was really struggling to write a poem that we had to do for English. And a friend who was in my English class said, "Hey, will you read it?" I didn't think much of it. I just thought that I would like make a few edits and then pat them on the back for it. I ended up almost crying in study hall because like it was one of the best things that I've ever read in my life. And I stopped thinking about writing that would make you think, and then thought, if I can make someone feel like this, then that's all I want to do with my life.
I also wrote a poem initially, and then I did that for an 8th grade English assignment. But then once I got the flyer, I told myself like I'm not gonna write a poem because I'm just not good at it. And then I guess I kind of branched off of the piece that I'd written for English, and obviously like my piece was based on The Great Gatsby. So and I actually hadn't read the book before I wrote it, but my mom had just finished it and she was talking about it, so I just pieced some things together and came up with a story.
All right, my next question, is there any particular subject matter or style you like exploring in your writing?
This is pretty much the first like actual creative writing thing that I ever wrote outside of school, and so the first thing that I really had freedom to write about anything. So I don't really know if there is a theme that I would particularly like to write about. I think I like what I wrote, and I don't know if I'd write about the same thing again, but yeah.
I don't have anything in specific. I think for now, I just want to write more. And I guess as I do that, I can sort of find something that I'm excited to write about or passionate about.
Poetry is not usually my medium. I really like writing argumentative essays, things along those lines, short stories. I have never thought of myself as a poetry person.
Are there any writers or artists in general who inspire you?
Taylor Swift. I have a shirt on right now, so I'll just throw that out there.
I listen to so much music and read so many books that it's hard to articulate any one artist or writer that I draw inspiration from. I think that the first book that made me want to write was The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. I think that I drew a lot of my inspiration from him for a lot of years.
I guess my favorite authors are Brandon Sanderson, Nobuyuki Fukumoto. So since I read a lot of stuff by certain authors, I don't know if there's any like conscious influence that I draw from them, but there probably is like deep down that I want to emulate their sort of work, their sort of style.
All right, so my last question for you guys, what is the best piece of advice that you have received about creating art and writing?
Advice that I got that really helped was just to go for it, because like who else is going to read it if you don't win? And I think that was a big thing for me because I don't have a ton of self-confidence, so it definitely took a push to get there. But I guess just trusting yourself and trusting that you know what you're doing and giving it a go even though you might not be sure it's gonna end up well. Sometimes that's all you can do.
When I say I'm going to write, most of the time, probably a good 75% of the time, what I mean is I'm going to go look up writing advice that I may never use. But something that has really stuck with me through one of those long scrolling through Tumblr sessions is just write your story. It's similar to Emma's. Like, no one else in the entire world can write it in the exact way that you do, and there's something really special about that. And also, if you're using the word orbs instead of eyes, reevaluate what you're doing.
I think the best advice I got was when I was writing for the Gilded Leaf contest, and I asked or forced my friend to read what I had written, and he didn't really have much to say other than, "You should put a metaphor in here." I was like, "Sure." So I thought that was some pretty cool advice.
That's awesome.